Hello, my dear students. Very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to this TYBSc online lecture. In the last lecture, we started our new topic cement and glass industry, in which we are studied the introductory part of the cement industry. As I told that the cement and glass industry, which having the two sections, one is the cement industry and second is the glass industry. In which in the last lecture we started our introduction as well as the basic definition of cement, in which cement is a hard substance. It is a mixture of calcium oxide and the silica. When it is combined with water and set it for a certain time, it sets like a stone like structure is called as the cement. That is the definition of cement. And also we studied the different types of cement. There are 10 types of cements we are studied. Out of the 10 types, we are interested to study the manufacture of Portland cement as well as the types of Portland cement also studied in the previous lecture. In this lecture today, we are going to study the manufacture of Portland cement. The manufacture of Portland cement, it involves in different steps. We can see here the first is the raw materials. Raw materials are the basic content for the manufacture of Portland cement, and second is the proportioning of the raw materials. Once the raw materials are taken, how the proportionate of the raw materials can be done. And third, preparation of kiln feed. Kiln feed is nothing but there is a certain operation which is undertaken for the burning operation. Kilns are there. What are the, once the raw materials are taken, how it can, we have to study, we have to make a preparation for kiln feed. There is raw material feeding for the kiln, that is already before it should be prepared. Second, beneficiation by a flotation method. This is a very simple a physical treatment in which purification can be done of the kiln feed. And next one is the burning operation, where the actually the burning operation of the a certain materials will take place, where the clinker formation can be done. And finally, treatment of clinkers. So these are the very important steps involved in the manufacture of Portland cement. Okay, in the today's lecture we see three steps of raw materials, proportioning of raw material, preparation of the kiln feed. Let me see. Now first is the raw materials. As I told, the manufacture of Portland cement, in which raw materials plays an important role. What are the basic raw material? As we know that the basic raw material for the manufacture of Portland cement, that is, we have to remember calcium oxide, that is calcium carbonate or any calcium containing material, that is calcareous material. And second, argillaceous material, that is rich in the silica material. Silica is the silica oxide or silica, which is also the basic content of basic raw material for the manufacture of Portland cement. And third one is gypsum, that is plaster of, we can see here calcium sulfate with one hydrated molecule, that is gypsum, is also very important. Now let me see calcareous material. What is a calcareous material? Calcareous material is nothing but a rich in calcium, material. The source of calcareous material is nothing but limestone, chalk, cement rock, marl. Marl is nothing but the mixture of calcium carbonate and the clay, marine shells, and alkali waste, which contains less than 5% of the calcium carbonate. Means what? The basic source for the calcareous materials, here we can see the any type of limestone. Limestone is the calcium carbonate, where the high source of the calcium can be obtained from the calcium carbonate. Okay, now the materials containing the higher percentage of the MgCO3, this is also one of the part of the calcium. You can see here the oxides. Even we can see the impart of brown color to the cement also affect the strength of the unfavorably. So that where the calcareous materials are rich in the calcareous material, that is calcium material, basically obtained from the chalk, cement rock, limestone, and the marl. Second one is the argillaceous material. This is also very important, rich in the silica. What is argillaceous material? Argillaceous material is nothing but the rich in silica. The source of argillaceous material is making for the Portland cements are basically from the clay, quartz, slate, shale, blast furnacing, etc. Where the even ashes and the cement rock, where the basic source of the argillaceous material, where the rich in the silica, where even sand is very important. Sand is also which is high content of silica, where the quartz which is required for the rich in the silica. And the third one, which is I told, gypsum. Gypsum is calcium sulfate with one molecule of water. It is added in the stoichiometric amount in order to adjust the rate of setting of cement. This is keep it to be remember, where the gypsum is added in stoichiometric amounts, which is required for the adjustment of the setting of the cement. So here we can see the basic raw material are nothing but for the manufacture of Portland cement. One is the rich in the calcium material, that is calcareous material, and second is the argillaceous material, that is rich in the silica, and third one gypsum. These are the three important significant material, raw material for the manufacture of Portland cement. Next is proportioning of the raw materials. Once we have the raw materials, but how it can be proportionated according to the requirement of the type of the Portland cement. As we studied in the previous lecture, there are C2A, C2S, C3S, C3 4, C3AF. It means what? C is nothing but the calcium oxide, already we studied. S is for the silica, and A is for the alumina, F is for the ferrite. Where C2 is nothing but the dicalcium silicate. Okay, we can say the dicalcium material oxide, and silica, where S2, that is for the dimolecule of silicate. Likewise, the proportioning of the raw material is done according to the composition of the Portland cement to be manufactured. Means where you required what type of cement you require Portland cement, whether you require type 1 type, whether you require type 2, whether you require type 3, whether you require the type 4. According to the type of the Portland cement, the proportioning of the raw material is done with respect to their composition. As we know that there are two different compositions, the basic and as well as acidic constituents of the Portland cements. As in the principal basic constituent, what is that? That is calcium oxide. Okay, the principal basic constituent is the calcium oxide. In addition to the cement, usually it contains magnesium oxide and some alkali, which is required for the basic of constituent, where you can see here, in addition to the calcium oxide, also required magnesium oxide and some alkali. The principal acidic constituent, what is that? Silica. The principal acidic constituent is silica. Cement usually contains some alumina and ferrite. The composition of raw materials is normally checked at various stages by chemical and analysis method. So it means that not only the requirement of the raw material, we also proportioning of the raw materials plays an important role for the manufacture of Portland cement, where you require this type of the Portland cement you manufactured. Where we can see importance of the raw proportion of the, where the first is the lime content, that is the calcium oxide. If the lime content is very too low, what will happen? The cement is produced is low in early strength. Means what? Strength of the that cement, if the lime content is too low, that will become the low in the strength. On the other hand, if the lime content is too high, the unsound cement is produced. So likewise, the proportion of the, whether it is lime or whether it is silica, are very important. It plays an important role in the manufacture of Portland cement. Now second, we can see here silica, alumina and ferric oxide content. What is the importance of silica, alumina and ferric oxide content? When silica, that is SiO2, content in cement is too high, even alumina is in the low. Where the condition is there, if silica is in the high content and alumina is in the low content, the temperature of the burning is raised means where the required for the burning operation for the cement burning operation, the temperature of the burning operation for the cement manufacture that is raised, and the affect line of line of lost and setting of period is increased. So such a cement is called as low setting of cement, means when silica is in the high content it becomes low setting cement will be there. So you require what amount of the calcium oxide, what amount of the silica, it is better to within a proper proportioning of the raw material for the cement. When silica content is in cement is too low, and aluminum and ferric oxide content is high, the setting of period is decreased, and such a cement is called as the quick setting cement. Okay, now we can see here when will form the low setting cement, when silica is in the high, and when will form in the quick setting cement, when silica in the low percentage. With that, here we can see here when silica is high content, alumina should be the low, and when silica is in low content, alumina and ferrite it is in the high percentage. That time it forms the quick setting cement. So silica, alumina and ferric oxide contents are very important role in the formation of the low setting cement, in the formation of the quick setting cement. But what we required in the proper proportionating of the raw materials. Third one is the magnesia content, where the magnesia, that is MgO, magnesium oxide, the percentage of magnesium oxide in cement should be less than 5%. This is also very important, it should be less than 5%, as the higher magnesia content makes the cement unsound at larger stage, means it becomes the unsound at the larger stage. Where we can see the how the in general the raw material should be proportioned as follows, where the percentage of the different calculated with respect to the calcium oxide and the silica, alumina and the ferrite, that is 1.9 to 2.1, and second is silica to the alumina, it is 2.5 to 4 should be in the percentage ratio will be there. Now, the composition of the raw material has to be taken carefully controlled, as I told, where as the significant raw materials of rich in silica, rich in calcium and the gypsum, not only they we have to take the materials, very important the important process of proportionating of the raw materials are controlled. It should be controlled. If materials are not controlled, then it affects on the quality of the cement. Where it affects the quality of the cement? The first is cement containing no iron is white. You see, the cement containing no iron is white but hard to the burn, means where we require the iron also containing. Second is cement containing lower proportion of lime is a weak strength, as we studied previously the importance of lime content. Whenever the lime content is low, the strength of the cement is very low, so that cement containing lower proportion of lime is a weaker strength. Higher percentage of the lime causes cement to expand, crack after setting. See, this is also very important. Whenever if low content of cement is there, that is weak in the strength. If higher percentage of the lime is there, that causes the crack after setting, expands. Likewise, this cement with excess of silica, is known as the low setting of cement. Already we studied. Whenever silica is higher percentage, that becomes the low setting. When silica with excess of alumina is a quick setting cement. Likewise, where the proportionating of the raw materials is very important. Not only the significant raw materials are taken, it should be the proportionating as per the requirement of the manufacturer of type of the Portland cement you need. Next is preparation of kiln feed. As we know, what is a kiln feed? Kiln is nothing but the certain the required for the burning operation, where the certain material, the raw materials are feed into the kiln for the burning operation, where before that you have to make a feed for the kiln. How? With the help of the raw materials. Where the different materials, gypsum is taken, silica is taken, and the calcium oxide is taken, where all are mixed with the proper grinding. This takes place with respect to some water, without water. There are two different processes we can see here. Grinding is extremely important in preparing of the raw material mix for feeding to the kilns, where the feeding of the raw material for the kiln, initially all the raw materials are taken according to the proportion where the type is required. whether it is calcium, lime, or whether it is silica, or whether it is gypsum, or whether it is alumina, as well as ferrite. All the materials are taken as per to the proportionating, as per the requirement of the Portland cement of the type, where the materials are taken for the grinding process. This can be the preparation of the feed is normally carried out by two methods. One is wet process and second is the dry process. If these wet and dry process differ in the treatment of the raw materials, in dry process there is no water is added, in the wet process there is water is added, but the both require the same equipment. Wet, the process is not used nowadays because it requires water, and once water is added, if it is mixed, and again you have to evaporate, where the you require thermal energy. Now here we can see the choice of the process depends upon whether the physical conditions of the raw material, second local factor of the climate conditions, and third is the price of the fuel. Now first is dry process. What is the dry process? And this is also known as modern method. In this dry process, the raw materials are roughly crushed according to the after once you proportionating the raw materials, means what amount of proportionating you required, if it are they all are taken for the dry process, for the preparation of the kiln feed, where in the dry process all the materials are taken and they are grinded properly and followed by the powdering in the hammer mill. Hammer mill into the, they are sent into the hammer mill, and the proper hammering will be takes place, means why they required the all the raw materials should be in the a proper mixing. The materials are then dried in a rotary dryers, proportionated and more finely ground in a tube mills. The particle size is controlled by the classifier. The product is obtained known as the raw meal. Now see, this is very important. Where in the dry process, all the raw materials are taken, grinded properly with respect with a hammer mill and dried it, where the size of the particles are maintained by the classifier. The product that is obtained is known as the raw meal. Very important, raw meal. It is fed directly to the rotary kiln for the production of clinker formation. For the production of clinker formation, means in the dry process the product, the material you get it, that is known as the raw meal. Now second is the wet process. Now this is very important, this is the old process. Wet process means just the all the raw materials are taken according to the proportionating, where the water is added. Very simple, where the water is added. In this process water is added to the material while grinding to form a slurry. Now see, once water is added, definitely the whole materials are wetted, the all the mixture is wetted and it forms into the slurry, where the slurry is then filtered to reduce the water content 32 to 45%. Once water is taken, it forms a slurry that is called as the raw slurry. Raw slurry is further reduced water content 32 to 45%, where you require the thermal energy. See, keep it to be remember, the wet process is now out of use because it consumes more heat energy in the burning operation, because the raw materials are already in the wet condition. Raw materials, that is raw slurry, which is obtained from the wet process, now directly feed into the kiln, where for the burning operation, means already material consisting of the water content, you require the more amount of thermal energy for evaporating the water molecule and for forming the burning operations. Therefore the wet process nowadays it is less in the use, but dry process it is a modern process which requires lesser amount of the thermal energy for the burning operations. But we can use the both the process of dry process and the wet process. Okay, dry process and the wet process for the preparation of the kiln feed. Once the from the product obtained from the dry process is known as the raw meal, and the product obtained from the wet process is known as the raw slurry. So these materials are sent towards the burning operation. Here I will stop here in this lecture. In the next lecture we will see but beneficiation by flotation method, burning operation, and the treatment of a clinkers. So with this I hope you all are understood the manufacture of Portland cement, which consisting of 6 steps involved in the manufacture of Portland cement. First is the raw material, second is the portioning of the raw material, and the third is the preparation of kiln feed, and the next is the beneficiation by flotation, burning operation and the treatment of clinkers. Let me see these further steps in the next lecture. With this, I will stop here. Thank you for watching this lecture. Thank you so much.